Good morning, students. So we were learning chapter number 5, lines and angles. As far as I am concerned, exercise 5.1 has already been done. So today we'll be learning about exercise 5.2. But before that, there are few important definitions that we need to go through. So let's start with that. The very first is intersecting lines. The definition goes like two or more lines that have one and only one point in common are known as intersecting lines. So how we can define intersecting lines is like there more than one point, that is two or more lines which meet each other at one point, okay, which touches each other or which meets each other at one point are known as intersecting lines. So what's necessary for intersecting lines is that they should meet at some point. Fine, they should compulsorily meet at some point, and then these lines are known as intersecting lines. I have one example also. I have taken from your day-to-day life just to make it more clear. I hope you get it. See, here I have earphones in my hand. We can see that from this point we have this line coming out, and again from the same point we have this line also coming out. So we can say that this is a common point for both of these lines. Fine, and this common point is known as nothing but the point of intersection. This common point is known as point of intersection, and such lines are known as intersecting lines. Other examples also we can take. For example, I have this scale in my hand. We can see that this is one of this edge of the scale can be taken as one of the line, and this edge of the scale can be also taken as one of the lines, and these two lines meet at this point. This point act as the meeting point or the point of intersection of both these lines. So this line, this edge and this edge are known as intersecting lines because they share one point in common. So these are the examples of intersecting lines. Also, I have taken here symbol Y, that is, it is actually alphabet. I have taken this alphabet Y. We can see that there are three line segments, or it can be taken as line also. If I extend this further, then this will become line, but for here I have taken line segments. So these three line segments, they meet at this one point. This point is common because from this point we have this line coming out, from this point we have this line coming out, and again from the same point we have this line coming out. So this point act as a common point for all these three line segments. So this point is known as point of intersection, and such lines are known as intersecting lines. Students, you can also collect a few other examples from your day-to-day life to understand it more clearly and just for your practice purpose, and you can also share it with me. But of course, let's move on to the next topic, that is parallel lines. Parallel line is actually opposite of intersecting point. Fine, parallel lines are the lines which never meet. They should never meet, means they are never going to touch one another. They are always the same distance apart. Same distance apart means here also there will be the same distance between these two lines, and here also there will be the same distance between these two lines. So these two lines are never going to touch each other and are known as parallel lines. Again, we can take examples of same from scale. So this edge of the scale can be taken as one line, and this edge of the scale can be taken as one line. Can these two lines ever meet each other? Can these two lines ever meet each other? The answer is no, because doesn't matter however we extend these lines further, they are never going to meet each other. So such lines are known as parallel lines. Other examples also you can take, like parallel edges of table, parallel edges of bed, railway tracks. Under some conditions, railway tracks are also the example of parallel lines. Let's move further. Next topic is transversal. So transversal is the line that intersect two or more lines at distinct points. Means what? Here you can see these black colored lines are two lines, and this red color line, which is actually a transversal, this red color lines, it is intersecting, it is meeting, it is touching both these lines in distinct point. Distinct point means here in this case we have more than one point of meeting, means this transversal meet this line at this point, and the same transversal meet this line at this point. So both the lines should be distinct, both the lines should be different, means a transversal should touch two or more lines in distinct point. Okay, the lines should be distinct. Again, we can try to understand this with the help of example. Suppose here I have my diary. Fine. If I put my scale like this, so what we can say, this scale is actually acting as a transversal, and these two edges of the diary act as lines. Fine. Now what happens, this scale is touching this edge at this point, so we can say this is first point of this transversal touching this line, and similarly this scale also touches this another edge of the diary at this point. So this transversal is touching both these lines at two distinct points. Fine. So in this case the scale becomes a transversal. Students, you can also try to keep the scale in any other position and try to see that if it touches both the lines in distinct point or not. Let's try. If I put my scale like this, is the scale touching this both lines now? No, this is not touching. Instead now this scale is parallel to both these lines, but it is not touching. If I keep my scale like this, is it touching both the lines? Yes, again it is touching both these lines at these 2 points. So again the scale becomes a transversal for these two edges because it has two distinct point of intersection. Fine. If I put my scale like this, now is it touching both the lines? No, it has only one point of intersection, and that's to with only one line. So again in this case it is not a transversal. So we can say that the scale becomes transversal only when we keep the scale either in this position, fine, two distinct point of intersection, either in this position, again 2 point of intersection, or in this position, again 2 point of intersection. Fine. You can try other position also, and please let me know if you find any positive results or not. Fine. So these were the examples of transversal. Now see this figure. In this figure we have 4 distinct lines. It is line P, line N, line M, and line L. Now the question arises, is any of the lines from this figure is a transversal or not? Fine. Any of these lines are transversal or not? This is the question. So the answer is no. Why these lines and any of the lines from this figure are transversal? Because no doubt all these lines are intersecting one another at this common point. This is the common point of intersection for all of these lines. But as per the definition, a transversal should intersect the lines at distinct points. The line of intersection should be distinct. The points of intersection should be distinct. It should be different points. And since the condition is not maintained in this figure, none of the lines from this figure is a transversal. None of these lines from this figure is a transversal. Now let's move to the next topic, which is actually a very important topic of this chapter. From exam point of view also, this topic is very important, and you will be learning about this in higher classes also. So please try to understand this very clearly. Fine. Now here I have these 2 lines. Fine. These 2 lines, and this line is my transversal. But of course now we can see that because of this transversals there are 8 different angles that has been formed. There are 8 angles that has been formed. Here this is angle number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, 8. So there are 8 angles that has been formed. Now all these angles have their special names, so we need to understand those names and its meaning. Let's try to understand. The very first is interior angles. Fine. The very first is interior angles. Interior, the name itself suggests its meaning. Interior means the one which is in the inner side. Fine. In the central side. So which are the angles? Which angles are there which are interior in this figure, we can see that 3, 4, 5 and 6 are the interior angles over here. Fine, they are in the interior region of this figure. So these are the interior angles. So interior angles will be 3, 4, 5 and 6. This is the symbol of angle. I hope you all know this. So angle 3, angle 4, angle 5 and angle 6 are the examples of interior angles. Now let's move on to the next, that is exterior angles. Exterior means the one which is at the outer region of the figure. So we can say that angle 1, angle 2, angle 7 and angle 8, which are at the outer region of the figure, are known as exterior angles. So which are the exterior angles over here? Angle 1, angle 2, angle 7 and angle 8. Fine. So next is pairs of corresponding angles or simply corresponding angles. So corresponding angles are 1 and 5, ठीक है, 1 and 5, 2 and 6, 3 and 7, 4 and 8. How you can try to memorize it? Fine. So you can easily compare that the upper angle should be compared with the upper one and the lower angle should be compared with the lower one. Here also see, upper angle can be compared with the upper one and lower angle should be compared with the lower one. So corresponding angles are 1 and 5, 2 and 6, 3 and 7, 4 and 8. So these are the pairs of corresponding angles. Now let's move to the next, that is alternate interior angles. Now we know what are interior angles. The only word that has been added over here is alternate. Fine. So alternate interior angles are 3 and 6 because these both are present on the alternate sides of the transversal. We know this is transversal and these two angles are present on the alternate sides. So 3 and 6 are one of the pairs of alternate interior angles and the next is 4 and 5. So these two are the pair of alternate interior angles. Fine. Now next, pairs of alternate exterior angles. Fine, exterior angles. So we know that 1, 2, 7 and 8 are the exterior angles. Now we need to find alternate, means it should be present on the opposite sides or on the alternate side of the transversal. So 1 and 8 are one of the pairs and 2 and 7 are one of the pairs. Since these are present on the alternate side of the transversal, 1 and 8 is the first pair, 2 and 7 is the second pair. Now the last one is pair of interior angle on the same side of transversal. Now see, it is very clearly mentioned that interior angles should be present on the same side. Fine. So if we talk about this transversal, which are the interior angles that are present on the same side? So these are 3 and 5. 3 and 5. Again on the same side we have 4 and 6. Fine. 3 and 5 both we can see that it is present on the left side of the transversal. Similarly 4 and 6 are present on the right side of the transversal. So 3 and 5 are going to be one of the pair. 4 and 6 is the second pair over here. Fine. So this is the very important topic done. Now let's move on to this. Fine. This is again important and kind of same only. Fine. See, this is same only, angles formed, but in this case I have taken parallel lines. Very important from the point of view of your chapter and examinations also, because here in this case we have many important results also. So this is very important. Fine. So these two are parallel lines, we know. Fine, they are never going to touch one another, and this is the transversal. We can name these lines also. Say this line is L, this line is M, and this line is N. We can name it also. Fine. So these three are the lines. These are parallel ones, and this is the transversal. In all, there are 8 angles formed. Okay, as we have studied just now, there are 8 angles formed. Now there are a few important results in case of parallel lines. The first result is the corresponding angles are equal. The corresponding angles are equal. Fine. Now we know what are corresponding angles. I have given you one trick also to remember that upper angles can be compared with the upper one and lower angles can be compared with the lower one. Fine. So 1 and 5 are going to be equal. Similarly 3 and 7 are going to be equal. Again 2 and 6 are going to be equal. 4 and 8 will be equal. So this 4 set of angles are equal. The corresponding angles will be equal. Next, alternate interior angles are also equal. Interior angles, and that should be alternate, means present on the different sides of the transversal. So we can see that 3 and 6 are the alternate angle and these two are going to be same. Similarly 4 and 5 are also alternate angles and these two are also going to be same. So alternate interior angles are equal means 3 and 6 and 4 and 5 are equal. Okay, now the third one, the last one, the last important result. Fine. So here the interior angles on the same side of the transversal are supplementary. Interior angles, but it should be present on the same side. Same side means 3 and 5 both are present on the same side, both are present on the left side of the transversal. So 3 and 5 supplementary means what? The sum of the angle should be 180. Students, this you have already studied in 5.1. Fine. So you should know by now that supplementary angles mean sum of the angle should be 180. Similarly 4 and 6 is present on the right side of the transversal. So 4 and 6, addition of 4 and 6 will be 180. Fine. So both these pairs will give us the measure of 180 and these are known as supplementary angles. So these three are the important results when we talk about transversal of a parallel lines. Okay.